Welcome to the Art of Impact, Mastering the Power of Influence. I'm your host, Arya, and today we delve into the strategies and insights of individuals who have truly mastered the art of influence. Our guests will share their experiences and expertise on how to make a lasting impact through effective communication and leadership techniques. Join me as we uncover the secrets to leveraging influence effectively in our ever-evolving world. Let's pivot slightly towards a fascinating aspect that's closely related to influence, which is persuasion. Understanding the psychology behind persuasion can amplify our ability to influence. Wouldn't you agree, Evan?
Absolutely, Arya. The psychology of persuasion really boils down to understanding how people think and make decisions. For instance, Robert Cialdini's principles of persuasion, like reciprocity, consistency, social proof, and others, offer a roadmap to influencing decisions by aligning with how our minds naturally operate.
That's a great point, Evan. In marketing, we leverage those principles daily. Take social proof, for example. Testimonials, user reviews, and influencer endorsements work because they tap into our innate desire to conform to the choices others make, assuming those choices are beneficial.
It's interesting how these principles play out across different fields. Serena, could you share how understanding human psychology has shaped your approach to creating impactful campaigns?
Sure, Arya. One key aspect is empathy, putting ourselves in the shoes of our target audience. We ask, what are their pains, fears, desires? By understanding these, we can craft messages that resonate deeply. For a campaign to be persuasive, it must feel personalized, almost as if speaking directly to each individual in the audience.
Serena brings up an important point about empathy, which aligns with the principle of liking. We're more likely to be persuaded by people we like or those we can relate to. Leaders and communicators can harness this by showing genuine interest and understanding towards their audience, creating a likable persona that facilitates influence.
That dovetails nicely with the concept of storytelling, doesn't it? Stories have the power to bridge that empathetic gap, allowing the audience to see their reflection in the message being communicated.
Exactly, Arya. A well-crafted story can encapsulate complex emotions and ideas in a relatable and compelling way. This not only aids in persuasion, but embeds the message more firmly in the audience's memory.
And from a leadership perspective, storytelling becomes a tool not just for persuasion, but for inspiring teams and driving them towards a shared vision. It's about moving people, not by dictating, but by connecting on a human level.
Fascinating insights, Evan and Serena. It's clear that the psychology of persuasion is multifaceted, involving a deep understanding of human behavior, empathy, and the art of storytelling. Let's explore how these principles can be applied more ethically in influence strategies. Evan, could you share your thoughts on this?
Certainly, Arya. When we talk about ethical influence, it really narrows down to the intention behind the act of influencing itself. Historical figures like Martin Luther King Jr., for instance, showcase the ethical use of influence through nonviolent resistance and powerful oratory that appealed to the moral conscience of society. His leadership was grounded in integrity and the pursuit of justice, which garnered widespread support and brought about significant change.
It's inspiring to see how leaders like King used their influence to unite and uplift, rather than manipulate or divide. Serena, from a marketing perspective, how do you ensure that the tactics used are ethical and resonate positively with the audience?
It all starts with transparency, Arya. In today's digital age, audiences are more informed and can easily sense when a message isn't genuine. We aim to create campaigns that are honest and provide real value to the audience. This means avoiding exaggerated claims or manipulative tactics that could erode trust. Instead, we focus on building long-term relationships with our audience by being clear about our intentions and delivering on our promises.
Adding to Serena's point, ethical leadership and influence also means being aware of the impact we have on others. It's about taking responsibility for the influence we wield and ensuring it's used to empower and benefit rather than to exploit or mislead.
That's a powerful reminder, Evan. The responsibility that comes with influence cannot be understated. Speaking of responsibility, historical figures often had to navigate complex moral landscapes to lead effectively. Can either of you share examples of leaders who balance this adeptly, perhaps influencing societal change in the process?
Well, one figure that comes to mind is Nelson Mandela. His journey from anti-apartheid revolutionary to president exemplifies leadership that transcends personal vendetta for the greater good. Mandela's ability to forgive and work towards national reconciliation despite decades of imprisonment showcased his mastery over the art of influence, turning adversaries into allies and fostering a culture of peace and unity.
Indeed, Serena. Mandela's story is a testament to the power of leading by example. His integrity, resilience, and empathy served as a beacon for millions, influencing not just the course of a nation, but the hearts and minds of individuals worldwide. What's compelling is how both Mandela and King, despite facing immense challenges, harnessed the power of their personal narratives to drive social change, making their missions feel personal to others.
Their stories highlight a crucial aspect of influential leadership, connecting with others on a deeply human level. It's evident that influence, when wielded ethically and empathetically, has the power to transform societies. As we continue to explore this topic, let's delve into modern examples of influential leaders. Who do you see today embodying these principles of ethical influence and making an impact in their communities or industries? As we discuss influential leaders and the power of ethical influence, it's fascinating to consider the role of first impressions in this dynamic. The science of first impressions plays a critical role in how leaders, marketers, and individuals in general can sway opinion right from the outset. Evan, based on your experience, how do first impressions factor into leadership and communication?
First impressions are pivotal, Arya. They form within seconds of meeting someone or encountering something new. This initial judgment can be influenced by a variety of factors, including appearance, body language, and verbal communication. In leadership, crafting a positive first impression is crucial for establishing authority and trustworthiness. It sets the tone for future interactions and can greatly impact one's ability to lead and influence.
And from a marketing perspective, brands often have a very short window to make a positive first impression with potential customers. This might be through a website, an ad, or even the product packaging. Getting this right can determine whether a consumer decides to engage further or move on. It's about creating an immediate connection that resonates emotionally and logically with the audience.
It seems that regardless of the context, first impressions are an amalgamation of various elements coming together to form an instant assessment. Serena, can you delve deeper into how marketers can control these elements to sway opinion favorably from the get-go?
Absolutely, Arya. The key lies in understanding the target audience's preferences and expectations. For instance, using certain colors, typography, or imagery can evoke specific emotions or associations at first glance, which can influence how a brand is perceived. Similarly, the tone of the messaging and the values it communicates can play a significant role. By aligning these elements with the audience's values and expectations, we can craft a first impression that not only captures attention, but also encourages trust and loyalty.
Tying back to what Serena mentioned about aligning with audience values, it integrates with Cialdini's principle of liking. People are more likely to be influenced or persuaded by individuals or brands they find likable or can relate to. This is why it's crucial for leaders and marketers alike to project authenticity and reliability from the very beginning.
Authenticity seems to be a recurring theme when it comes to making a lasting impact. How do first impressions tie into the creation of authentic and meaningful connections, especially considering the speed at which these judgments are formed?
It's all about consistency, Arya. First impressions are just the starting point. Authenticity is demonstrated through consistent behavior and communication over time. However, a strong first impression can open the door to deeper engagement. For leaders, this means living up to the expectations set during that first encounter, embodying the values they preach, and showing genuine interest in their team or audience.
Similarly, brands need to ensure that the initial impression is not only positive but also true to what they represent. This consistency between the first impression and the ongoing experience with the brand strengthens the relationship with the audience, making it more resilient and meaningful.
This discussion highlights the complexity of first impressions and their lasting impact on influence. Whether in leadership, marketing, or everyday interactions, understanding and mastering the science behind these initial perceptions can be a powerful tool for swaying opinion and fostering authentic connections. Let's continue exploring this fascinating subject by discussing the role of nonverbal cues in shaping first impressions. Evan, can you share some insights on this? As we delve into the nuances of influence and persuasion, the role of storytelling emerges as a pivotal element. Evan, you touched on the importance of storytelling in leadership. Can we expand on how stories serve not just as a method of communication, but as a profound tool for influence?
Absolutely, Arya. Storytelling at its core is about connection. It transcends the mere presentation of facts to evoke emotions and forge a deeper understanding. Nonverbal cues play a significant role in storytelling, especially when the story is shared in person or through video. Body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice can all enhance the narrative, making it more engaging and impactful. Essentially, these cues can underscore the authenticity and emotional depth of the story, making the message more persuasive and memorable.
And in marketing, storytelling combined with strong nonverbal cues can significantly influence consumer behavior. For example, think of a commercial that not only tells a compelling story, but also uses music, visuals, and actors' expressions to stir emotions. These elements work together to create a powerful impression that can sway perceptions and decisions. It's storytelling that makes people feel something, and that emotional connection is what drives action.
That's a fascinating point, Serena. Emotions indeed play a crucial role in decision-making. Stories that touch our hearts can leave a lasting imprint and drive us to action, more so than any data or statistics. Evan, could you share an example where storytelling has been used effectively to lead change or influence opinions in a leadership context?
One classic example is how Apple's Steve Jobs used storytelling. In every product launch, Jobs didn't just list features. He told a story. He presented a vision of a better future, one where technology and humanity intersected seamlessly. Through his narrative, he connected with his audience on an emotional level, making them feel part of a larger journey. This approach not only influenced consumer behavior, but also cultivated a loyal community around the brand. His storytelling was a tool that inspired innovation and set a new standard in technology and marketing.
Building on that, stories have a unique way of simplifying complex ideas and making them accessible. In public relations, we often deal with intricate products or concepts. By weaving these into stories that highlight real-world applications or impact, we can demystify the complex and make it relatable to the audience. This not only educates but also builds a stronger, more engaged community around a brand or cause.
Indeed, storytelling has the power to transform abstract concepts into tangible experiences that resonate with individuals on a personal level. As we continue this exploration of influence in storytelling, let's consider how digital platforms have amplified the reach and impact of storytelling. Serena, in your experience, how has digital media changed the way stories are told and consumed?
Digital media has revolutionized storytelling by offering a plethora of channels and formats for sharing narratives. From blogs and social media to podcasts and video platforms, storytellers have unprecedented access to audiences worldwide. Moreover, digital media allows for interactive storytelling, where audiences can engage with the content, share their perspectives, and even contribute to the narrative. This interactivity fosters a more immersive and participatory experience, enhancing the influence and reach of the story.
And with digital platforms, the speed at which stories can spread is incredible. A compelling narrative can go viral overnight, reaching millions of people and sparking conversations across the globe. This rapid dissemination can be a double-edged sword, however. It demands a greater responsibility in ensuring that the stories we tell are not only engaging, but also truthful and ethical. In the age of information overload, authentic and meaningful stories stand out and have the potential to drive real change.
The digital landscape indeed offers both opportunities and challenges for storytellers. As we harness these tools to spread narratives, the core elements of storytelling, authenticity, emotion, and connection, remain as crucial as ever. Let's explore strategies for crafting stories that resonate and leave a lasting impact in our digital age. Evan, could you offer some insights into this?
Certainly, Arya. In the context of digital storytelling and influence, emotional intelligence plays a critical role. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, encompasses self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, motivation, and social skills. These components are vital for crafting stories that not only capture attention, but resonate on a deeper emotional level. By understanding our own emotions and how they impact our communication, we can create narratives that are authentic and emotionally engaging.
Adding to Evan's point, emotional intelligence also allows us to anticipate and understand the emotional responses of our audience. This ability to empathize ensures that the stories we tell are relevant and relatable. In marketing, for instance, knowing the emotional pulse of your audience can guide the tone, style, and substance of your narrative, making it more likely to influence decisions and behaviors.
It's fascinating how emotional intelligence can serve as a bridge between the storyteller and the audience, enhancing the persuasive power of narratives. Evan, can you share an example where emotional intelligence was effectively employed to influence through storytelling?
A great example is the nonprofit sector, where organizations often rely on storytelling to drive awareness and donations. Take charity campaigns that share personal stories of those they help. These narratives are carefully crafted to evoke empathy and compassion without overwhelming the audience. By balancing emotional content with calls to action, these stories mobilize support by connecting on a human level, showcasing a deep understanding of emotional dynamics.
And in a corporate context, leaders who share personal stories of failure and learning demonstrate vulnerability and resilience, traits that can inspire and motivate teams. This openness fosters a culture of trust and encourages others to share their experiences, creating a more cohesive and supportive environment. It's a powerful example of how emotional intelligence can amplify influence within organizations.
Indeed, the ability to connect emotionally and authentically with others is a powerful tool for influence. As we wrap up today's discussion, it's clear that whether through leadership, marketing, or storytelling, emotional intelligence and the understanding of human emotions are key to making a lasting impact. By being mindful of our own emotions and those of our audience, we can navigate the complexities of influence with integrity and empathy. Thank you, Evan and Serena, for your insightful contributions. And to our listeners, remember that the art of impact is not just about the message you deliver, but how you connect and resonate with those around you. Thank you for joining us on The Art of Impact, Mastering the Power of Influence. Please feel free to share your stories and insights with us. And until next time, stay influential.
Thank you, Arya. It's been a pleasure discussing these vital aspects of influence and storytelling.
Thank you for having us. It's been an enriching conversation, and I hope our listeners found it valuable as well.